Yo, what's up, guys? Today I'm doing a video that I've been wanting to do for a while, where I just talk about my dually builds. And keep in mind, this is not like my builds for every single dually in the game. It's just for the dualies that I use currently, which are the Tetra dualies, the Dapple dualies, and the Douser dualies. So I have a couple builds for each of these 6 kits. So we'll go over all of them. And it's not going to be like, super in-depth explaining every ability. I'm just going to kind of go over what's important. And just a reminder that if you want to see all these builds in one place, you can just look at my Sendu, which I'll link in the description. Yeah, anyways, here's the first build. I guess this is like my primary Dark Tetris build. I like to call it my all-around build because it has a little bit of everything. Obviously, it has all this quick respawn, which, it's Tetra Dualies. Like, they always run quick respawn. You're kind of throwing if you're not running quick respawn on Tetras. And then it has 2 subs to QSJ for some fast jump outs, or jump ins too. Got the utility subs, you got your Ingress, your BDEF, or not BDEF, sub resistance, whatever. I still call it BDEF, like Splatoon 2. Yeah, Ingress, special saver. And then you might be wondering, why do you have a sub of swim speed? What good is that doing? I swear it makes noticeable difference. Others might disagree. I swear when I run it, I notice a difference. Could be placebo, I don't know. I like the 1 sub swim speed, but you certainly don't need it. I mean, you don't need really most of this stuff. Like, if you want, you can just run like a full quick respawn build and just like 1 sub QSJ and stealth jump. Like, that's what some people do. A lot of Japanese players run builds like that. Although I would recommend 2 subs of quick super jump, maybe even 3 if you're running a build like that. But I prefer this kind of all around kind of thing. But yeah, it's up to you. All right, so now we have my Splat Zones Dark Tetris build. So as you can see, still a lot of quick respawn, but the main difference here is we lost a couple utility subs, and we now have Comeback. And I know a lot of people, if you've been a long time fan of mine, I used to say that Comeback was useless on Tetras. And that was true for the longest time in Splatoon 3 as well, because I said that in Splatoon 2. In Splatoon 3, that was true for the longest time, until Reef Slider became kind of decent and like became good at capping the zone in Splat Zones and just providing a lot of paint. Now you want to get a good amount of Reef Sliders. So that's why I'm running Comeback for that reason mainly, just so you get some of that special charge up when you come out of spawn. And also, it benefits from the other stuff as well, just not as much as the special charge. And then I have a bit of special power up. Now this is where it's kind of up to what you want to run. I like 3 subs, but that's not enough to cap like every zone. It misses out on still quite a few zones, but it does help. Like it paints more than it would normally without any special power up though. So, run however much you want to cap certain zones. I think 3 subs is a good amount. I see other people run 3 subs, but you could run like, I don't know, you could run like 8 subs if you want, if you like capping zones that much. And yeah, obviously stealth jump and, QSJ, Ingress as my utility subs. Those are the most important ones, I think. Yeah, this build has done me wonders in Splat Zones, so I highly recommend. Alright, so now we have my Light Tetra Dualies build. I just have 1 build for these. To be honest, I don't even really use Light Tetras that much anymore. They're fun once in a while, but I just think the Dark Tetras are overall better now, so I really use these. But pretty standard stuff. You want the 2 subs of special power up for the Zipcaster so it lasts longer. I run Comeback on these, and by the way, this is for any mode, not just zones. You could use these for any mode. But yeah, the Comeback is good for just getting your zips back faster, and of course it benefits on the other stuff as well. And then, okay, you're probably wondering, why is there a sub of ink recovery up on the shoe? I just like that because I spam sprinklers a lot on this weapon, and I just kind of chuck it randomly at people's feet. So the ink recovery up just helps a little bit with that. After I throw one, I get ink back a little bit faster, but it's certainly not needed. You could run another sub of QSJ if you want, or something else. It's up to you. That's just what I like. Alright, next up we got my vanilla Dapple Dualies build. Just 1 build for these. You could use this on any mode. Pretty standard, honestly. I don't think there's anything I really need to cover here that's out of the ordinary. 2 subs of sub power up for the beacons. You don't need 2 subs. You could run 1 sub. You could run 3 subs. I recommend at least 1 though. You should run at least 1. You're kind of throwing if you're not running at least 1. Little investment for a lot of value on sub power up with beacons, so definitely run that. Comeback, just for, you know, when you die, you could have that effect by jumping to the beacons and then maintain those comeback effects after you jump to the beacons. A little bit of QR just in case you die without cooler. But this thing's main job is just to kind of cooler than go in. So I do see some people run like more of a special charge up build, which you can. I don't know. I like the more aggression. So yeah, the QR is just kind of a safety net for when you don't have cooler. You don't need to run that much special charge up on this because it's 170p cooler. It gets it like, look how fast this gets it. Like, come on, you don't need special charge up for this. Like, this thing gets cooler near instantly just by itself, and you're gonna get it faster with a comeback as well. By the way, like comeback helps with it, getting the cooler back after you respawn. So like, you know, do what you want, but I recommend a build like this personally. All right, so now we're at the Dapple Dualies Nouveau, which I have 3 separate builds for. So we're going to be talking about Dapple Dualies Nouveau for a little bit here. This first build is like the all-around build. It has a little bit of everything. Has comeback. Comeback is great for Dapple Dualies Nouveau. Highly recommend. It's better on Dapple Dualies Nouveau than Tetra. You know, you get your reslider back faster. Dapple Dualies already have a lot of speed, and then you get more speed with comeback. And then like the main and sub saver helps with the torpedo. It just like, you know, it hard benefits from everything that comeback provides. So you really should run comeback on Dapple Dualies Nouveau. You got a little bit of quick respawn just to help with your aggression. Be a little bit of a safety net there. Not too much though. About a main's worth of swim speed, which is also really nice because, you know, Dapples benefit a lot from swim speed. And then you just got your standard utility subs. Now I do want to point out the Intensify Action, because that's probably the one like questionable sub that's here, and this is just a personal thing, but I highly recommend it. If you dually hop with well, I was gonna say with Dapples, but really with any dually, but with Dapples it helps a lot. And remember, I have made a video about dually hopping, which I'll link in the description if you don't know what it is. But in short, it's basically this, where you're not dodge rolling, but you're actually jumping and moving midair, like you would with a shooter. And then when you do that, you want to do this a lot with Dapples because it helps extend your range a little bit, and it's just very, very beneficial. Like any advanced Dapple Dualies player, you'll see them doing this because it's just really nice for fights. It adds a layer of unpredictability to your movement because you're not just doing this the whole time. It helps to mix it up, and then Intensify Action really helps with that. Just one sub is really effective, so if you have room on Dapples, I'd highly recommend running that if you dually hop. I mean, if you don't dually hop, there's no point. Like, don't bother. But if you know how to dually hop or you want to learn it, would highly recommend at least one sub of Intensify Action. All right, so this is my full aggro QR build. I don't know, that's a makeshift name. I don't know what you would call it. Just call it the QR build with comeback QR build. I don't think I really need to explain much here. This is just for when you're playing a super aggro. I think this build is probably pretty good for like X rank. But although the last build I showed works fine too, I feel like I have better luck with this in X rank just because Dapples do kind of die a lot when you're facing like high level people. So this could be useful. But yeah, it's really up to you. Like, if you want to just play your Dapples more like a Tetra and just be like a soul distractor rather than sharking a lot, this is the one that you want to use. I prefer the last build that I showed you, but I do run this one occasionally, depending on like the map and mode. All right, so here's the final Dapple Dualies Nouveau build that I'm going to show you guys. I don't use this one too often. It used to be my main build, and then I started running like QR on it because I realized it was better. This is probably the build that I would like least recommend of the 3, but this one's still really fun. So yeah, this is like my mobility build, which I mean, obviously look at the speed. You're just super, super fast with this thing. Still have the comeback to give you that extra speed when you respawn. Get your special back a little faster. And then I have 2 subs of Intensify Action on this one, just because I had room. So like, might as well, right? Just help with the dually hopping even more. And then you got your standard utility subs. I had room even for sub resistance there at the end. So yeah, not much else to say here. Just if you want to be really speedy, maybe you could play a little more sharky with this one too. But you definitely don't want to like run in as much with this build. You want to play a little safer because you don't have that QR as a safety net. All right, now we're at the Douser Dualies. Here's the vanilla Dousers. This is the build that I've ran basically since this weapon came out. It's solid. It always has been. I guess it's like an all-around build. You could say it's a mobility build, but it's more like all-around, I would say, because it kind of just has a little bit of everything. Same thing with this weapon. Actually, I'd argue Intensify Action's even more important on this weapon than Dapple Dualies because this weapon doesn't roll as much. You're shooting. You're just, you're standard firing a lot. So it's going to help with your RNG while you're jumping like this. See? It doesn't make it perfect, obviously, but it just helps your odds. Actually, the RNG is pretty, Okay, now it's not working. See, as you can see, it doesn't guarantee that your weapon's, gonna have perfect accuracy in midair, but it does reduce your reticle size by a lot when you're in midair. So keep that in mind. But, it's not necessary. It's just what I like to run. And then for Douser Dualies, you definitely want some run speed. Douser Dualies are pretty slow with the strafe speed. And again, as I just said, this thing doesn't dodge roll as much as the other Dualies. You want to be more sparing with it. So when you're gonna mainly just be playing like this, and you want to be moving faster while you're strafing. Makes you a harder target. Lets you paint faster as well. You paint more ground because you're moving faster. So yeah, run speed is very beneficial for Douser Dualies. I would say a main is a sweet spot. You don't need any more, but I wouldn't recommend any less. I think a main is about the sweet spot. Got a little bit of swim speed there just to help with mobility as well. And then, okay, see, this kind of bugs me because this weapon is still, for some reason, 200p, which it should not be 200p. It should be 190, given how underused this thing is. But since it's 200p, you kind of got to run some special utility here just to help you get it a little faster. So that's why you got the 2 subs of special charge up, and then we got the sub of special saver as well, and of course stealth jump. I realize for all these builds I haven't really been talking about the stealth jump, but like it's kind of obvious. Like you should run stealth jump on pretty much every dually. I don't think that really needs explaining, so that's why I haven't really been mentioning it. It's just kind of a given. So I don't need to specify why I'm running stealth jump. Like most weapons in the game want stealth jump, but especially dualies. All right, I was debating even including this one on the list, but I'm going to just because I've been using it recently. This is my opening gambit QR Dousers build. I'm just gonna say this: I would not recommend using this unless you're like a Douser enthusiast like me. It's not really that good. It's fun. It's funny. That's why I use it. It's definitely much better in like series, a solo setting. Like you don't want to really use this in comp. You're not gonna get much value out of it in comp. Well, I will say though, opening gambit. No, actually, it doesn't work in the chain room, so you can't see. But opening gambit, Dousers benefit a lot from opening gambit. Because you get all that run speed, which I just explained. Run speed is very good on Douser Dualies. Swim speed helps, of course, and then opening gambit gives you intensify action too. It gives you like a lot of intensify action, and yeah, you're again. I wish I could show you here, but I'm not gonna. I don't know how to do that without actually going to a game, which I'm not gonna do. But makes your reticle a lot smaller while you're jumping, which again, Dousers are gonna do that a lot. So it benefits from every aspect of opening gambit. Now you got to keep the opening gambit, which might be a little hard on this weapon because it's not exactly a great slayer. But the ink mines can help with that too. And the ink mines, because you guys know ink mines provide assists if a teammate kills the enemy while they're point sensitive from your ink mine. It'll give you an assist, and the assist keeps your opening gambit going. So that's why I have one sub of sub power up, just to make the ink mine tracking last a little longer. And since it's such an aggro build, I'm not running any special charge up, but rather 2 subs of special saver, just because you probably die a lot with this build. And then standard utility subs, quick super jump, ingress. Yeah, like it's a funny build. It's not serious. I wouldn't recommend seriously trying to use this. It's just fun. I like it though. So. Alrighty, last but not least, we have the custom Douser Dualies. And then this build is honestly like, it's pretty similar to the all-around kit for the vanilla ones. Only difference, obviously, is there's a little bit of sub utility here. We got 2 subs of sub power-up. Just, you know, most burst bomb weapons want to run this just because it lets you throw the burst bomb significantly farther. And this weapon wants it especially because now the burst bomb actually matches your main weapon's range, which, like, you kind of need, or else the burst bomb's just kind of useless. Only had room for 1 sub of intensify action. I would prefer 2, but gotta settle for 1. And I got the 1 sub of ink recovery just because, you know, after burst bombs, you want to be able to recover your ink a little bit faster. And then last ditch effort is pretty good for this weapon. I'd say LDE is better than comeback for custom Douser Dualies just because it really helps with the burst bomb. You're going to be using a lot of burst bombs on this weapon. But I will say, depending on the map mode, you probably could run comeback. I kind of do for like tower control. Where is my... Gosh, shoot. I don't know if it's even... I haven't used it in a while. I had some headband with comeback on it, but I don't even know where it is. So, but basically, like, I have a headpiece that's like the exact same... Oh, wait, it's right here. I'm dumb. It's the exact same abilities, but it's just comeback instead of last ditch effort. But yeah. So that's about it, guys. Those are the main builds I use for my 3 main dualies right now. Yeah, like, I know some of you might be asking, like, oh, where's Splat dualies or dualie sculptures? But, like, I'm not going to show you my builds for those weapons because I don't use those weapons. So it'll be kind of pointless. But if you guys want to see builds from top players who use those weapons, just check Sendu, which I'll link that in the description. And you can see my builds there. You can see a bunch of good players' builds there. Some players a lot better than me, might have different builds than me. I'm just showing you what I use and giving you my kind of take on why I think it's good. Yeah, if you guys have any questions about anything, let me know. I'll be happy to answer anything. If you need clarification on why I run something or any recommendations, yeah, let me know. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Sorry at the low effort for this video, but I kind of just wanted it to be casual. Just give you my basic thoughts on my abilities and stuff. But yeah, that's going to be it for me. I'm going to bed now because it is currently 1:10 a.m. That's why I sounded so tired during this video. Yeah, I will talk to you all later. Goodbye.